Hello and welcome back to Stop and Go F1, or should I say Stop and Go F2, because that's what we're here to talk about. The Formula 2 for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, where we have a brand new championship leader. We'll get into all that and more in just 1 second, but remember to like and subscribe, and of course a huge shout out to the members: Dakota, the Joyous Jade, Robin Myers, Cinnamon Strudel, Michael Johnson F, Mr. Eurovision 1986, No Edam on Sandwiches, and Flandy Skick. My goodness, the members on the YouTube and the Patreon, if you want to join them, click the link in the description down below. But let's get started with the Formula 2 sprint race, which sees a man that we're going to talk about a lot this weekend on pole, and that man is Richard Verschoor, Gabriele Mini alongside him. Now, Roman Stanek was supposed to be on pole for this race, but he did get a free place penalty for impeding, which means he starts from fourth, whilst Pepe Marti is in third. And as we get away, Verschoor is able to keep the lead, and Marty is up till second. Obviously, Kean Shields is out, and Arvid Lindblad all over the back of Gabriel Mini for P3 on lap 2. We get the virtual safety car then for Shields. When that ends, Lindblad is able to get past Mini, and Marty takes the lead into turn 1 on lap 4. Stanek then, a lap later, takes the lead from Marty with a near identical move to the one that was used by Mini to take the lead in the first place. Marty goes wide and Lindblad goes through P2. Marty goes wide a second time in the same lap and then allows Mini to go through. Marty gets the place back, though, into turn 1. Stanek is alongside Mini, who cuts the corner and keeps the place. That's on lap 9. Stanek gets the place back, but then Mini, into the back of turn 1, Mini is, I can't understand my writing there, and now Dunn is here and gets both of them into 4P4. So yeah, there's a huge battle between Stanek and Mini at this point. Stanek takes the place back, but then Mini takes the place back, but then Dunn just gets both of them. Eventually, Stanek passes Mini again for P5, and Mini at this point in the race was just finding himself in this awful little Groundhog Day situation where he's just going into turn 1 over and over and over again on the outside of the corner, cutting the corner, keeping the place. I mean, really, realistically, he should have really got a penalty for some of the stuff that he did there, but yeah, it was just over and over and over again from Mini. Not really trying to change it up, but yeah, there you go. Slight front wing damage from Mini as well, whose race is going from bad to worse. The front left side of the front wing was just wobbling all over the place. Crawford has a big spin into turn 1, trying to pass Mini. As on lap 16, this brings out the safety car. It looks like he locked up into turn 1. Mini, of course, was on the outside, and he hit Mini and went into a spin. We see Miata and Villa Gomez pit for the super soft tyres. They were at the back anyway, taking a risk, very similar to what we saw in Bahrain. Safety car ends on lap 18. Verschoor goes early and manages to keep the lead. Fornaroli gets past Mini, who keeps on falling back further and further down the grid. We do get, though, a penalty for Richard Verschoor, who is the race leader, for pushing another driver off the circuit. This gives him a 5-second penalty. And as we cross the line, Richard Verschoor crosses first but falls down to fourth, and the winner of the sprint race is Arvid Lindblad, who becomes the youngest ever Formula 2 race winner. Marty is in second, Dunn third, of course, Verschoor in fourth, Stanek fifth, Mini sixth, Fornaroli seventh, and Victor Martins in P8. We then go to today's race, which is the feature race, where it's Crawford on pole with Victor Martins alongside. It's Victor Martins' first front row of the year. Of course, the Australia one never actually happened, but he did qualify on pole for that race. We have joint championship leaders going into this race of Alex Dunn and Pepe Marti. Alex Dunn starts his race 6th, Pepe Marti is in 7th. And as we get started, Crawford is able to keep the lead. Further back, Fornaroli is in 3rd, and he just keeps on making a lot of mistakes. Browning eventually is able to take the place on lap 6. Dunn then follows through and pushes Fornaroli down to 5th. We get the early pit stops in for Fornaroli, Marti and Mini on lap 6. There's a lot of debris on the start line at this point, and I thought, well, that for sure is going to be at least a virtual safety car. But I don't really understand why it isn't until 2 laps later. So Martins is able to pit on lap 9. Crawford pits first on lap 7, as does Dunn, Lindblad, and Montoya. Then, 2 laps later, Martin's pits. Martins comes out ahead of Crawford, but Crawford has the heat in his tyres. Crawford is all over the back of Martins, and just as he was about to make a move, then the virtual safety car is called for the debris on the start-finish line. The same debris that was there 3 laps earlier. Why they called it then, I don't know. I really think with things like this, there should be some kind of thing that is released by the FIA as to explanations for safety cars, virtual safety cars, and when and why they are called, because the debris was as dangerous as it was when the virtual safety car was called as it was 3 laps prior when it actually happened. Why aren't we calling it earlier? Why are we calling it when there's about to be a move done? Is there a correlation? Who's to know? Meanwhile, Fornaroli passes both Dunn and Browning. Dunn forces Browning off the track and goes off the track himself. He's told when the virtual safety car ends, he's to give Browning the position back. It's the thing about Dunn. He was the championship leader going into this race. I'm not a huge fan of him, it has to be said. I know he won in Bahrain last time out, but I do feel like he is incredibly aggressive with his moves, and most of his moves are over the line. Like this one here, where he gave the place back. I thought a lot of his moves in Bahrain, where he got no punishment, were equally as bad. So, there you go. He gave the place back, though. Virtual safety car ends on lap 10. We get Martins and Crawford side by side from turn 1 to turn 4. Martins able to keep the place. Fantastic racing from the both of them, though. Gave each other exactly the enough amount of room. Really, really good stuff from there. And a lap later, Crawford is able to take the place. At this point, it was like for P9, but it was the net race lead as everyone in front of that alternative strategy. We keep on going, though. There's a wonderful little battle between Marty and Luke Browning at this point. But it does remind me a lot of the mini battle the day before, because Marty dives into turn 1, Browning just cuts the corner. Now, you could argue that maybe Marty wasn't fully alongside as they entered the corner, but he was at least a little bit alongside. Browning cuts the corner nonetheless. Marty, though, on the next lap goes, you know what? I'll go around the outside this time. Down the inside didn't work. I'll go around the outside. Browning forces him off and makes him cut the corner. So, either way, into that turn 1, it seems like it's not really policed well at all. If someone tries to overtake you on the inside, you just cut the corner and keep the place. Someone tries to overtake you on the outside, just force them off and you keep the place. It's one way or the other. I imagine there'll be some kind of controversy in the F1 race later on today. On lap 16, Marty does get the move done, but he gets it done on the straight before turn 1, not allowing anything to happen from there. Then there was a bit of a near heart attack moment because he's got the move done, but here comes Alex Dunn, who goes down the inside of Luke Browning into turn 1, and you can just see it happening, those two collecting each other, and then collecting Marty as well. Luckily, everyone makes it through. But Marty takes the position there, and then Dunn forces Browning off, of course, because he was on the inside line. Then as Browning cuts the corner, he comes out back ahead of Marty, who's just overtaken him on the straight. Thankfully, he lets Marty go back through. Dunn is then behind Browning. It's a bit of a mess, but there you go. Gerfer is the first of the alternative strategy drivers to pit on lap 21. Then we have Miney and Stanek pit on lap 23. The big one, though, was Richard Verschoor, who'd been out in the lead of this race for quite some time at this point. On the alternative strategy, had built up a tremendous gap. So when he comes through, where's he going to fall out? And he came out in front of Martins, but behind Crawford, but on the soft tyres. And he's setting fastest laps now as he chases down Crawford. Then as we begin the final lap, lap 28 out of 28, Richard Verschoor passes Crawford to take the race lead. And as we cross the line, Richard Verschoor finishes first and keeps it this time. Jack Crawford has to settle for P2, Victor Martins in 3rd, Fornaroli 4th, Marty 5th, Browning 6th, Lindblad 7th, Alex Dunn is 8th, Minnie is 9th, and Kush Miney in 10th. Richard Verschoor is our new championship leader in Formula 2. A okay weekend. I think not living up truly to the big standards that Formula 2 has. It wasn't out of this world fantastic. Still yet to reach the high heights of the Bahrain sprint race that we saw last weekend, but still very good, and still, has that Formula 2 thing of anyone can truly win. I mean, Richard Verschoor was the star of F2 for me this weekend. Crossed the line first in both races, had to settle for fourth with the penalty in the sprint race. But there you go, Richard Verschoor, a fantastic job, and a new championship leader. Can he keep it, though? We'll have to wait and see as the rest of the season goes out. We'll have F1 later on today, though. Until then, have a good one. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.